Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome to this wonderful sunny Saturday morning in the UK. We've just had storm Amy pass through where I am down in leafy Hampshire right now. It's a beautiful blue sky, but there's still quite a bit of wind. In fact, I just watched an R-22 fly overhead, and boy, was that helicopter twitching. It was quite incredible to watch. I can't imagine what it would have been like being in there. Quick hello to the chat. Binky, good to see you, Heliflyer. Morning, Rob. Hope you don't mind me coming along for the ride. Of course, mate. Of course. We are on the Southeast Asia server if anyone wants to come along. You can see it's quite murky. I'm just going to switch to this one. There we go. That's the campaign map. So as you can see, hopefully you can see, at the moment down here at Lossie, it's 33 knot winds. So up north, up here, the storm is still, or we're still seeing the after effects of it. This is where we are, northeast of Scotland, RAF Lossiemouth. For those that follow the channel and all that sort of thing, you're probably bored of me saying this, but this is our base over here, and we're going to be operating in this area. Now the helicopter we're using is the High Performance Group. It's getting darker and darker, isn't it? High Performance Group H145 with the Action Pack expansion, with a 202 Squadron repaint by Damo Designs, and that, I always get the wrong one, that is a 202 Squadron Sea King that was based here at RAF Lossiemouth. That repaint, X-Ray Zulu 588, is that helicopter. Or the repaint of that helicopter, and that's now based at Historic Helicopters, and what a fine machine she is. So yeah, this is where we're going to be. We're going to be using the HEMS Random and Anywhere. That's what it's called on flightsim.to mod. Everywhere else it's kind of called HEMS Random and Everywhere. We're going to be using that. We're using Kicker's realistic voice pack with radio effects, and we are also using the M. Gonzalez sound pack for the H145 and the epic full Scotland helipads. And this, of course, if you can just about see it through the murk, because my lord, it is getting dark, is the RAF Lossiemouth from Nick B007. There you go. I think I've explained everything that's going on. So we are flying live weather, as I say, just to keep it a little real. So it should be interesting to see what we're going to get. I'm just going to purely use the random effects for this one. Certainly for the first mission, anyway. We're just going to see what the system throws at us. Bit brighter in here now. It's interesting, when I set the stream up, so I started setting things up just over half an hour ago, it was a wee bit brighter, but I could see some real murk coming in, and that's what we're seeing now. Aidan, how you doing, mate? Hope all is good with you. Right, okay, so let's get everything moving. So I need to come back to map submissions. Always need to remember to do this in the right order. By the way, if you've not got the HEMS Random and Anywhere mod and you're interested in getting it or installing it, it's free. Although Andrew's put so much work into this, it's just incredible. And hopefully, if you've not seen this before, you'll get an idea of what's in there. I made a video on how to get everything set up. I'll put a link to that down below. But also, I can't stress enough, do read the installation instructions on the HEMS Random and Anywhere page. This mod and everything associated with it, because there are other dependencies that you have to have as well. It's almost like assembling a fine Swiss watch. You've got to get all the cogs, all the components just in the right place for everything to work perfectly. The number of times people comment or complain that it doesn't work, or blah blah blah, and it's just simply down to the fact that they haven't just kind of take a deep breath and just follow those instructions and bang it all in correctly. Anyway, on y va, as they don't say in the northeast of Scotland, or they might have done during the Jacobite Rebellion when the French were helping them out. Shut up, Rob. Just crack on with it. They've come here for blooming helicopter stuff. Okay, so first things first, before we power up the helicopter, we need to get our HEMS mission set up. I'm using a new test version, which hopefully will behave nicely. I mean, one of the things I should say is that this is incredibly complex. It's incredibly complex. And Andrew, who builds it, or Andrea, is a real-world instructor on Airbus helicopters. And he has packed so much into this that sometimes things don't work out right, and it's purely because of how clever it is, and hopefully you'll see that when we get going. I'm conscious that I don't want to waffle too much because we just want to get in the air. So what I'm doing there now is just reducing the range a little bit on where our casualties are going to be, and also I'm going to change this to use a location. So that means that wherever we are, like when we go to the hospital to drop a patient off, it will use the radius for the next mission from where we actually are, and that way it means that you don't necessarily keep, you know, going backwards and forwards. It'll just throw it out a bit. But otherwise, I mean, there's all sorts of things I could do. I could customize the location. I can even decide which missions I want to run. I might not want to raid. I might not want to save a farmer who's fallen off his tractor. I might just want to do mountain rescue or something like that. So that's what we can do there. But I'm just going to take the random element of it because that's what makes it interesting. I'm just going to reduce that a little bit more actually. There we go. Right, single player because I'm on me Todd. HEMS. So what this is saying here is that everything runs off the radio. The radio is down here. This is our mission radio. To get that set up, we need to first of all power up the aircraft. So we have battery on. Have some lights on. Just bring that up. And close that. Watching this down here. Looking for power up test to say OK. That's gone through, so that's good, and everything else here is absolutely fine, nothing to worry about, so we'll just acknowledge that. Quick check of the battery. Battery's good to go, and now we can turn on our mission radio.
Hey, good morning all. Ready for the missions?
Here's the crew coming out. This is all part of the mod. It's just these little details that add so much. Come on, chaps. Virtual lives to save.
Hey, Frank. Good morning.
Okay, so this is now done its thing. So now we need to connect. So we're now connecting to the rescue center, dispatch center, whatever you want to call it.
Hi, Captain. Helicopter is ready to fly.
And then we'll see this change.
Inside.
There we go.
Fuel tanks are almost full. If you need refueling, please ask.
So we don't need fuel at the moment. So what we've got here is the kind of first page. And what this does is it's kind of simulating everything. It simulates the time that takes for things to happen. So at the moment we haven't got a shout out. At the moment we'd be sitting in the crew room, we'd be having a cup of tea, talking about what was on telly last night, waiting for the phone to ring, and that's kind of the state we're in at the moment. We have no mission at the moment. We've just got this accept dispatch, and you can see down here we've got the EPU connected. Where is he? So Frank, who is our ground crew, has done that. Oh, there's Duxford the squadron dog. He packed his bag and said if we didn't do a HEMS mission, he was going to run away. So he's all right. So we can remove him now. So we'll get rid of him, and that's Parallel 42's camp out the course. And there's Frank. You're right, Frank. He's a good lad. Okay, so we've got a mission. Car crash. Vehicle, severe damage. Family of 3 involved. All category red. Focus on the mother. Okay, so this is going to be an urgent one.
Preparations, please wait.
So let's get moving. We'll go
for engine starting sequence.
1, 2 to start off with. Co-pilot's going to jump out. We've already checked the battery, so we know we've got plenty of power for a start. You can see down here the guys in the back are doing their
Area
bit.
clear. Ready to start engine 1.
So we go engine 1. It times the time it takes for everyone to prepare their posts. Quick look down here, N1 rising, TOT rising, oil pressure rising.
GPU disconnected. Ready to go. Good day.
Good start.
Engine started successfully. Moving to other engine. Cabin preparations completed.
So the lads in the back are ready.
Engine clear.
There we go for engine 2. N1 rising, torque rising, TOT rising, and oil pressure is rising. That was a nice feeling. So what do we got down here? We get a bit more information as time goes on. Waiting for info about rescue vehicles present and
Engine started successfully.
symptoms are bleeding. Police patrol Alpha 24 crew is on the way. So again, this is all simulated. The time the call comes in,
Hold on. Performing leak checks.
all the emergency services are now scrambled, and the police are on their way, and there will be an ambulance on the way as well. And we are going to be on our way too. Right, NAVCS, co-pilot, pilot, static. Let's have the strobe on. I'm going to get some lights on because it does a wee bit mucky. That's all good. Quick check. Happy with that. Happy with that. Quick look down here.
Okay, all good.
That's all good. We will just do a quick pre-flight check. So looking down here, pre-flight test. So the computer's just checking itself, making sure everything's the way it should be. We've got red on those because they haven't put the SAS systems in yet. So pre-flight test okay, so that's all good. We'll go back to previous, and now we can pop up. Oh, I broke my neck doing that. We can get that back to there. Cool. Okay, let's get some heating on because it's a little bit hot, or a little bit cold rather. Get some clean air coming in. That's all good. Excellent. That's all set up. That's all set up. Let's have the landing light on because we're about to start going. Now we can move that there. We're not going to be using the GTNXI, but we will have it up. And once that bings off,
system test okay.
acknowledge those. Once that bings off as it did, we will. All I'm going to do is turn off the TOR's verbal warning. Only because if we end up flying near mountains, it can get a little bit annoying. But we need to keep an eye on the screen because it'd be a bit embarrassing to turn it off and then bang into a mountain, would it not? Okay, so that's all good. That's absolutely fine. Let's get the map up. I will check the chat in a bit, by the way. Okay, so we are going. We're heading across the Murray Firth over there. So there's POI. Follow aircraft. That's all good. You can see we've got a white line there and we've got no distance there. That is because we need to first of all set MSFS as the navigation source so that it's driving. The nav is driving from the mission brain rather than the than any nav aid on the aircraft. And then the other thing we need to do, because you can see that's still white and that's still nothing in there, is we need to cycle the Garmin. I don't know why, but you have to do that. And now you can see line has turned blue and we've got destination 29.4 miles. We're going to put engines to flight. Just put a decision height to 100. Bum, 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 bum. Let's have a quick look. I should have checked this before. What's the QNH at Lossie? Where are you? Wow. 0974. Keep going, keep turning that wheel. Just keeping the click spot in the right place when you're using head tracking is not always easy. Come on, keep going, keep going. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's all good. Right, so we've done that, we've got good engines, this is fine. That's all where we want it to be. We've got no warnings down here and we are good to go. Sparky, how you doing, mate? How you doing? Okay, so quick check of the head tracking, and wind is coming from the right, so I'm going to lift and then we'll head over that way into wind. Obstacles are big old hangar behind, buildings over there, big old hangar that way, and Ducks with the dog has gone, bless him. Right, let's just get this centered. So, cyclic trim releases on. And let's get ready for that wind. Quick cover check. Everything's good. You're feeling that wind. That's interesting.
VY.
There we go. So we're now at VY. Let's rack it round. So as we're heading out to sea, we don't need to climb too much. By the way, if anyone wants to join, we're on the Southeast Asia server. You won't be able to see the mission assets, but you will be able to follow a magical mystery tour. So who knows where we're going to end up. Get blown by the wind there a little bit because I was too busy gawping. Okay, let's snap it onto autopilot. Okay, quick check. Pick up some speed. Don't need to climb at this point. We can get some speed on. We've got an emergency. Wave goodbye to Lossie. That really is some cracking scenery there. You can see how the helicopter, even on autopilot, is getting blown around. You can see the weather vane there, showing or the wind rather. And I ain't talking about co-pilot, Cat. So the wind at the moment, we've got 27 knots coming from our left. Yeah, you. All right, don't look embarrassed. So it's a blowy day, and the sea state is, you can see it's a little bit choppy. Let's have a look outside. Oh, I do love this repaint. The brave lads going out. And by the way, you may already know, but just in case you don't, fantastic. Oh, look at the wind there. Oh, we've got someone with us. Let's turn on the labels. Heli Flyer. Ado! Good to see you guys. Ado is always good with a backup Chinook. And Heli Fly's in the H160. There are, I say rumours, it's not rumours, it's going to happen, but they're going to be doing the action pack for the H160. Really excited about that. That'll be good fun. pick up some more speed. So we've got a rig in front of us. Need to be a bit careful we don't bang into that because we are a little bit low. So I am going to just climb a little bit. We might be the Royal Air Force, but we don't need to do any low flying into the side of a rig. It's not the done thing. Wind. Oh, wind is now. Oh, it went up to 38 then. Has dropped down a little bit. No, yeah. So it's gusting quite a bit. So it's kind of gusting between 27 and 38 by the looks of it. So this is going to be quite interesting. I'm just keeping a very gentle climb in. It would be rude to buzz over the rig. Anyway, how is everyone? It's Saturday morning. Saturday morning! No work. You haven't got to work today, have you, Sparky? I just realised you're a busy chap, and there's me saying about not having to work, and you might have to be going off somewhere. Time for a cup of 202 Squadron tea. Essential when you're doing search and rescue. You can see from the map there just kind of how much we're having to crab. I don't think. Yeah, I can show you actually, can't I? Oh, that's good, Sparks. Nothing worse than some idiot saying, "Oh, I'm off today," when you've actually got to go and do some work. Right, where are we? Let's now. There we go. Get rid of that now. So you can see we've taken off from Lossie. We are heading out to sea. That was the rig that we can see up ahead, and this is where we're going. And you can see with little nav map, it puts objects on the ground. So if you're doing like proper search and rescue, Berrydale is where we're heading. If you're doing proper search and rescue, you actually don't want that on, because otherwise there's a good chance it'll show you where your missing hiker or missing mountain climber is, and obviously we don't want that. We want the thrill of the surprise. So coming up on the rig now, you see that big bank of clouds. Let me there we go. Big bank of cloud, and I suspect rain. One of the things that I'm hoping HPG will do one day is simulate the wipers working in this helicopter. Unfortunately at the moment you can turn the wipers on and off, but they don't clear the rain, and that would just be a nice touch. But look at this, look, you can watch it coming in over the rig. I don't know if anyone has watched The Rig. I can't remember if it's on Netflix or Prime now, but that is definitely The Rig moment as we see the murk enveloping it. It's quite a nice little practice pad that for flying out of Lossie, doing if you want to practice some landing on platforms, then it's, you know, it's quite handy to go there. I am going to put the wiper on just to show Willing. We can have the landing light off now, I think. But you can see it's not actually going to do anything apart from give us a lovely warm sense of satisfaction that we have a wiper doing something. Right, now that we've finished climbing, just going to increase the speed a little bit. You have to be so careful in this H145, especially on autopilot. It's very easy to get into an overtalk situation. A gust of wind in the wrong direction, and suddenly it's trying to hold that indicated airspeed, and you get an overtalk, and it starts shouting at you, and it's very embarrassing. Sparky, that's a very unsubtle hint you just dropped there. I can't wait for that to launch. I am absolutely sick to death Having used Flow in 2020, I'm sick to death of having to use the normal menu bar and having it kind of pop up like that. Flow is such a useful tool, it really is. It's one of those, you often hear this game changer thing when things get launched and that kind of stuff, and you know, I'm not going to mention any particular names, but there's one that I can always think of, where a product that launched and everyone was saying it's a game changer, and I got it and thought, yeah, maybe not for me, maybe it's not a game changer for me, maybe for someone else it's the best thing since sliced bread. Flow, a whole different kettle of fish. Flow is such a clever little tool, and it would be great to have it back in Flight Sim 2024 for sure. I'm kind of excited to do a little bit more with it as well. I think I'm going to try and integrate it more with what I'm doing, especially now that I'm using more ATC stuff. It'd be interesting to see what I can use it for that. Still flying into the rain. I'd sing you a song, but I don't think you'd appreciate it. Because of the wind, actually. I mean, the wind isn't directly on the nose, but it's definitely having an effect. Our ground speed is 84 knots on little nav map. Just increasing the speed again. And in fact, let's have you there. You there. We got told off by a real-world H145 HEMS pilot saying that you wouldn't leave the VMS, the engine data panel up. So I've been trying to remember that ever since. So yeah, this is giving our ground speed as 87. So that's that's matching little nav map. Oh, that's good, Sparky. That's good news. Good news, mate. It will be a welcome return. How are you doing in the back, lads? You alright? Yeah, he's alright. He's one cool dude. He's always wearing his shades. It doesn't matter how crap the weather is, or even at night, he is always wearing his shades. It's interesting how I've noticed recently the app. So HEMS Random and Anywhere does, to my feeble brain, because I don't really know, is it creates a random mission and it looks for locations and it creates these, you know, it will create a cliff fall on a cliff. It can see the cliffs, it can read the terrain. It's incredibly clever. It really is. And so what we've got here, oh, and I can show you, can't I? Right, let me lock off the head tracking because it'll make it a bit easier. So this is what we've got now. We've got a bit of an update. Ambulance SAS 525 has reached the scene. Crew requires further assistance. Fire engine SFR SO6P crew is on the way to the accident location, and the cops are already there. So, and these vehicles, by the way, have actually been travelling in the sim. If we were over there, rather than where we are now, we would have seen an ambulance trundling along the road with its blue lights on. That's the attention to detail that's in here. And as time goes on, we're building up more information. So I can now, if I go onto the medical diagnostic page, this will become more populated as time goes on. At the moment, we haven't got a great deal. So what HEMS is about is taking the expertise of the hospital, a doctor, an emergency doctor, specialist paramedic crew, to the patient, rather than just going to the patient, picking him up, taking them back to the hospital. It gives you a kind of a head start on being able to treat them. And a lot of what's used in HEMS now was learnt in Afghanistan. because they realise that if you can get a really good qualified doctor on board the helicopter to the patient, you've got a much better chance of stabilising them and a much better chance of survival. So our doctor, who's the cool dude, probably the guy in the glasses actually, he is going to go out when we get there and he's going to have a look. So at the moment we don't know the patient's name. We know that it's a road traffic collision. Status upon medical arrival we don't know yet because we haven't got there and we haven't got sufficient information from the crew on the ground. Patient assigned emergency code 5 because we're not there yet. That will change. It'll be 1 if it's immediate risk of death, 2 if it's immediate risk of serious injury, and 3 no risk to life. And then you've got patient conditions, which is a life score, 0 being, let's face it, we're not required anymore, and 100 being, why are you wasting my time? You're absolutely fine. Get yourself down to Boots and pick up a packet of plasters. So at the moment we've got 48, which is kind of somewhere in between. I suspect when we get there we will see that patient condition drop. I'm just guessing, but I think that's what we're going to see. Right, okay, so we'll go back to the dispatch screen and we will go back to the map and close POI and get on there. Right, catch up with the chat. Aces, how you doing, mate? What's your B-17 yesterday? Oh, great! Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, it's going to be good fun. That B-17. So what Ace is talking about is I launched a preview video yesterday of the Micro Pros B-17 that's going to be early access from the 9th of October. So if you're interested in Warbirds and B-17s, you know, go and have a look at that when this is over. But yeah, I'm really interested to see. I'm really interested to see where they go and what they do with it, because it's only the start, and they've been quite brave and opened it up to the community at quite an early stage. But they're really keen to see what the community think, and they're keen to build and develop the B-17 in accordance with what the community are interested in, what they're looking for. So yeah, that would be rather cool. We have Land Ahoy. Now that I've turned that on, it's cleared a little bit. Nice to be able to see out. Let's turn off the wiper. I have seen your question, Sparky. I will just come back to you in a sec. There we go. So Sparky, you got the file of Discord, but where do you put the JSON file? I call it a JSON file, but I don't know what people actually call it. It's just when I see JSON, I see JSON. So it goes in. Stand by. What are you looking at? Sure I get the right place. Okay, so you go to your mission pack folder in your community folder, then go into HPG mission, then go into the random and anywhere folder, and you'll see all the JSON files in there, and you can just call it something different. If you don't want to overwrite the other one, you can just call it something different, and then it will and you can also edit the name in the file as well, the title, and then it will appear on your and then of course you've got to go to the Hype Operations Center, refresh index, refresh mission index, and then you should see it on your screen, and that should do the trick. So so your community folder, HPG Airbus H145 Z Andrew mission pack, then HPG mission, then random and anywhere folder, random and everywhere folder, and then it's in there. Like I was saying, the on the web page it's called random and anywhere, but everywhere else it's called random and everywhere. So sometimes one has to make the distinction. So we're heading towards some cliffs, and it's the done thing not to bang into them. So I'm just going to give us a little bit more height, just gently putting a climb in using the trim hat that I've got on my collective stick. Collective grip, I should say. Aces, I haven't. Do you know what? If I'm completely honest, I don't have any interest in the Zero as an aircraft, so I haven't bought it.
Ambulance with no paramedic. Police. Fire engine. Confirmed on scene.
There we go. By the way, if someone can let me know if the sound's okay, can you hear the helicopter? Can you hear the radio chatter and all that sort of thing? Say the radio chatter, the radio messages, that would be quite handy to know. Because every time I stream, it seems to be different. Yeah, sorry, Ace is just coming back. I'm not really interested in the Zero as an aircraft, so I haven't bought it. But people keep telling me how amazing this add-on is. So I keep thinking maybe I should get it just for the experience of flying a really good simulation of a warbird in the sim. But then I kind of look at it and I think, yeah, whoa, I'm not really interested. Blimey, that was the Ghost. Who is that? Reporting to air traffic control. Too close to get the label up. Okay, so we can see this wind. We really are crabbing. Jungly, how are you doing, mate? Hope all is good with you. Helifly, thank you for that. That's good to know. Always good to know. Nothing more frustrating than when you've done like a 2-hour stream and someone at the end of it says, "Oh, well, you're a bit quiet. We couldn't hear you." So we're coming in on the target. I'm going to take it off autopilot now. So cyclic trim release on before we start wafting our stick around.
I set a possible hospital destination for our patient.
It's
Infos are
Ada.
available on
Ada,
tap.
what happened, mate?
We can confirm or change later.
It's nice to see the MH60, but you seem to have decided you're going to try and cause a collision, mate. But very nice, I do like that. Royal Navy colours, isn't that a beautiful looking model? Okay, concentrate, Roberto. Okay, so cyclic release back on, autopilot off, quickly take control. Wind is 42 knots, 48 knots,
miles from accident area.
46 knots. Jeez. Oh wow. Oh, okay. Says yeah. Now I've got the 109 and I've got the 190. I bought them both. I should say very quickly, not wanting to make a big thing about it, I never ask developers for freebies. I'm just lucky that some kind of get what I do and kind of get in touch. So I purchased the 190 and I purchased the 109, but I have to say I do like the 190. I'm looking forward to that being patched up for 2024. So we got a message down below. Doctor, that's our doctor. On the scene it seems there are 3 casualties in an ambulance with no critical care paramedic. We will check and stabilise all of them. If needed, we will transport one patient while another will be transported by the ambulance. So that's our doctor on board. He's obviously in touch with the medical peeps, and he's saying to us what the plan is from a medical point of view. Of course, we are the commander of the aircraft, but he is head governor when it comes to sticking needles in people and dabbing them with magic sponges. So what he says goes. Okay, so wow. Down below, 1 casualty died.
Rear crew, we are approaching the landing site.
That can happen. So the first thing I need to do is a recce. There we go. So we can see down below ambulances, fire engine, and I can see the wind direction and I can see which way I'm going to go in, and we need to be quick. So okay, let's kill the thing.
500.
That wind really is rather strong. See the accident down there, all the emergency vehicles. So we're going to come in, we're going to fly around this way, and then we can hop in over the sea and get as close as we can, and then I suspect we're going to end up going to Raigmore Hospital. a serious one. Oh, that wind. Wow. The wind is... okay, this is interesting. The wind is making the aircraft behave in a very funny way. I'm just going to have to come around again. It's having, or it feels like it's having a big effect on collective. Almost like you'd see in an aircraft, fixed to an aircraft, if you had wind, strong wind blowing over the wing, with almost like a constant collective setting. We are climb sink rate is changing quite dramatically. Okay, so I think I've got it now. Let's walk it back in. Sorry for the lack of talking, but I really am able to concentrate. Looks like it's going to be quite a slope. So the indicated airspeed is obviously being affected by the wind quite heavily. As you can see, we are definitely not doing a 40 knot ground speed.
We are reasonably close.
So just trying to hold in a nice stable hover, and then I'm going to inky over here. This car, keep blowing all over the shop here. Wow, we just suddenly dropped then. Damn, that was... now we're down. Wow. The wind just took us. There we go, engines to idle. Let's, I'm going to bring the VMS up on here, just to have a look at that. Can you hear the engine note there? That's because the wind is playing with it. Interesting. Interesting! Okay, so engines are to idle. That was a bit close. Driver of that little car is thinking, please neck mate. You were a little bit close there. Okay, now for some reason the crew aren't getting out. So this could be something new. It says preparing for rescue operation. So I'm just going to see what they do. Could be something new, you never know. So do you know what I'm going to do, just in case, it's because this wind is messing about, I'm going to do a shutdown. So let's have engines off. Pop up here, transfer buttons off. Leave those on for when we're ready to go. Interesting how the wind is still, I mean I've actually got both engines in the off position, but it's as if it thinks with the wind it's still the engine's still running, but that's all still connected up. The engine's definitely off. That's all showing there, that we can see there, that is off. I'm going to, a little trick so that we don't lose our mission radio on the ground, is if you put ground power on, it simulates the as if we were having a handheld radio. And now we can have battery off. Okay. Can't operate the rotor brake, so there is definitely something odd going on here, and the fact that wow, we've lost our rotors, so there's definitely something very odd going on. I've never seen this before. This is completely new, but it kind of feels like something is possibly broken. I don't know if the wind is playing up or something like that, but we really should at this stage be seeing some action from the guys in the back, and I'm not entirely sure why. We do seem to have lost a crew member. Let's have a quick look. Page, so it's not like it thinks they've got out. Oh, let's get back. So nothing there. I'm going to just take a quick screenshot of that. Interesting. Ah, okay. Hold on a minute. The engine note just started dying, and we've got our rotors back. Ah. Oh, no. Engine's picking up again. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that this mission has gone up the Swanee, which is fine because it's a test. It's a test mission. I think what I'm going to do is, for the purposes of the stream, I'm going to use we'll use a previous version just to be sure, because I know the previous version worked well. So we will. I'm still mystified as why the engine is still running. So what we're going to do is, and apologies to anyone who's flying along, sometimes you have to do this. We are going to restart at Lossie. So anyone who was flying along, if you want to do the same, we'll just reboot at Lossie, and we'll start again, and we'll start with an earlier version. But this is what this is what a lot of the fun of it is all about. Andrea is constantly putting out test missions or test versions, and there's obviously something. It could be the wind, it could be something else, it could be something to do with multiplayer, or there's so many different variables of things like this. But something obviously wasn't playing ball, and when we got there, it wasn't doing anything for us. I wonder if maybe the patient that we were collecting is the one that died, and that's why suddenly it stopped, because in machine logic we didn't have a patient to collect. I wonder if that's what it was actually. I'm going to stick with the test. We'll stick with the test because that kind of makes sense now that could be what it is. So we'll go back to mission library. I'm going to stick with the test. I have faith. And let's just quickly, if I can remember where the hell it is. It's not that one, is it? It's not that one. It's that one. There we go. Just turn that brightness down a bit. There's Frank. Frank's ready to go. Okay. Let's start again. So I'm going to wind it down a little bit closer so that we don't go flying over the water again. I would rather that we did something local. I will keep it on user location. We will select single player, all the single players in the house, and oh no, turn the battery on, you plonker. Battery on, position lights, anti-collision lights on. Continue. Doing the power up test, so we keep
good
an eye on
morning
that.
all. Ready for the missions?
Quick check of the battery. Battery's good.
Hey Frank, good morning.
Where's the lads coming from this time? There they are. All right, fellas.
Good morning, Frank.
Deja vu, eh? Call to connect. You know how this works now, so I'm not going to massively talk through it. Aces, have I been to... I know of Wigan. I have been to it. I drive through it.
Captain.
I
Helicopter
drive
is ready
past
to
it
fly.
every now and again.
Logbook filled and signed. Fuel tanks are almost full.
But I have
If you
been
need refueling, please ask.
to it, but not for a long time. Right, fuel is good.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Flight check.
Oh, that's me getting in now. That was me just talking to Frank. So what have we got? Come on, mate, get on board. Virtual lives to save and all that. So we've got crew 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's correct. Farm has been badgeredly. He has been badgeredly. Farmers are always getting badgeredly. It's a terrible thing in the UK. There we go.
Final equipment checks. Hold on.
Didn't mean to do that. There we go. So the crew getting ready. We've got a farmer to rescue. We've got those on. We've got those on. Let's have transfer pumps. Last time I did 1, 2. This time I'm going to 2, 1.
Starting sequence. 2, 1.
There we
Cabin
go.
preparations completed.
Pardon me. We'll acknowledge those. Everything is good there. Happy with those. At least one injured. Waiting for info. Farmer has been badly injured by a harvester. Waiting info about rescue vehicles present. He's there. He's not going to give us a shout out. Whenever he does engine 2 first, they never give a shout out. Right, N1 rising, TOT rising, and
GPU disconnected. Ready to go. Good day.
interesting. Interesting. Don't seem to be getting oil
Engine started
pressure
successfully. Moving to other engine.
in the main gearbox. Oh no. Went from 0 to 1. Let's just have a quick look.
Engine clear.
Just in case we've got anything funny going on. Right, so now we can go engine 1. So that's where we're going. Not too far for this one. So don't worry, you're not going to be over the water for ages on this hop.
All engines started successfully.
Okay, now everything is playing nicely. That's the good. Right, let's jump up here and we'll have avionics on, thermal battery
Hold on,
on,
performing
DC
leak checks.
section on, ABCS. That. We can have transfer pumps on, prime pumps off, strobe on. Let's have some lights. And let's have some heat. Keep the chaps nice and toasty. This is the Royal Air Force. Okay, so he's doing his thing now, walking around. We can now get this set up. As I said before, we're not using the GTN-XI.
Okay, all good.
So the good in the back, that's good.
System test okay.
As I did before, we'll just turn off the shouts. Yeah, so we've got white and no information there, so I need to double check what have we got as the nav source. We want MSFS. Back to map submissions, that's white, that's good to go. We cycle the home button on the Garmin. We now get distance, we now get blue line on there, so we know all our nav is connected up. Quick check down here, we'll have those on. And we will now go engines to flight. Wind is where it was before. 40 knots right now. 40 knots. Deep joy. Watch everything wind up. We need that to get to 101. While we're doing that, sip of tea. So we're at 101. Aircraft is ready to lift. So obstacles, big old hangar behind, big old hangar to the left, and lovely MH60 Royal Navy in the front. Or is it that one? And then we're going to head over that way into wind, and then we'll boof around. Okay, let's go. Getting ready to anticipate the wind. See straight away the aircraft. Anything there? Quick hover check. Yeah, all good. Okay. Aces, I'm glad you asked that question, mate. I am glad you asked that question. But let me just concentrate a moment. It takes all the power of my feeble brain to do this and concentrate on that. And then I can talk to you because I'm interested in the topic what you have brought up.
VTOS.
Sparky. Oh, that's a funny one. Only you, Sparky, would notice that. You're actually quite correct in a way, but
VY.
bear with me. Okay, let's head on course. Made me giggle, Sparky. That was my fault. Sorry, Navy. Sorry. Should have been looking out. Okay, we'll have a nice tailwind as well, so this should make things go a bit quicker. Right, boof. And boof. So the helicopter has the helm now, but as you can see, there's a lot of blowy windy. So we're 7 minutes from target, so not too far to go at all. So Sparky, yeah, it's a little bit smaller than a standard mug, but it's not that small. It's just one of those, I guess it's the kind of mug you're not meant to drink out of. You're meant to have it in your cabinet or on your desk, but I always drink out of it when I'm flying 202 Squadron helicopters because it's the done thing. Michael, hello, how are you doing? Right, aces. So, I used to love tank games. I'm going back to the really early days of things like oh, what the hell was it called? Team Bravo. Was it Team Bravo? And then oh, I can't remember them now. The early tank. I want to say simulators, but they weren't really, were they? They were more like games. But you know what I'm talking about. But there is one out at the moment, and I hope this is why you're asking the question. There's one out at the moment called is it Gunner Heat? And I keep seeing it on Steam, and I keep getting tempted to buy it, but I haven't bought it yet. And I'm hoping that you're going to say you need to try Gunner Heat, because I'm really interested to see what that's like. Battle Zone. Yeah, I don't think I had that one, Sparky. I wish I could remember what it was. I'll have to have a look when I come off. God, I'm trying to remember the brand. All good, thanks, Michael. All good, mate. That is so frustrating. I need to concentrate on flying, but I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. For some reason I'm getting Spearhead, but it wasn't Spearhead. But you could drive, I want to say you could drive, it was an Abrams, I'm sure it was an Abrams, and you could take all the different positions. I mean, I'm talking years ago, I'm talking, well, probably late 90s, early noughties, maybe even earlier. I even want to say it was a Microprose title. Yeah, that's frustrating. And of course, tanks in Arma 3 are kind of good fun. Had some real laughs playing that in multiplayer, doing the Warlord scenario. And when you get to a point where you've got enough points where you can get one of the tanks and then just go into a town and just start creating mayhem, that's quite good fun. Dazzy, you need to try Grumpy Feet. No, wait, what was it?
We will be first on scene.
I've no idea what Grumpy Feet is, by the way. That is ringing a bell like you're referencing something, but I can't think what it was. Okay, so we're coming in. Oh, we were rocking a bit with the wind there. We're 2 minutes out. Wind is 41 knots. What could possibly go wrong? I have got the control of the helicopter now. There we go. Coming in on the target. Wind is, you can see the helicopter kind of oscillating a little bit with the wind. Definitely bumpy weather. Just going over Fokkabers. No, I'm not seeing that, Michael. Strange. Is it any particular server you're having the problem with, or is it just generally all of them? Yeah, Gunner Heat. Is it not called Gunner Heat?
2 nautical miles from exit area.
I can't remember. I just know I keep looking at it thinking, oh, I quite fancy that. I think it's an early access game as well. Okay, so wind is behind us. Wind is 46 knots. Jeez. This is madness.
Rear
Yeah,
crew,
Gunner
we are
Heat.
approaching the landing site.
So have you got it, Aces? I think that's the that's our target down there. That's the harvester. Okay, so wind
500.
is behind us, so we're going to come around now and we will pick him up. It's hard to describe just how weird this helicopter is to fly in wind as heavy as this, because the usual controls or the usual muscle memory is totally up the Swanee.
We are too far.
Yeah, alright, mate. I'm just doing the approach, isn't it? Pilot stuff. So we're into wind now. I can kill the tablet so we can focus. There is our there's our harvester. We are first on scene. There's no emergency vehicles here. We are getting pitched around like crazy in this wind. I'd say this is probably the strongest wind I've flown missions like this in. So we're going to use this helicopter like a big strimmer. Come on.
We are reasonably close.
Stabilize. Yeah, the wind is... Oof. Definitely having an effect like wind over a wing. You get a gust and all of a sudden the helicopter lifts. So I'm quite looking forward to just getting this on the ground before we get picked up again. Into the crops, down. Whew. Okay. Hopefully.
Rear crew, prepare for ground operations.
Okay, that's good. Got the verbal cue there. Rescue operation in progress. There's the Navy. Hello, chaps. Wow, we got two Navy. Now I want to see the doors open now, because that shows that everything's working as it should be. Yes. Okay, mission is progressing as planned. Let's lock off the head tracking. There we go. Michael Southeast Asia in West Euro. As soon as you take off the airports, you get so far from the airport. Okay, I've not had that, mate. I've not had that. Aces, yeah, just doing the tutorial. Sadly, it's only single player right now. Oh, you, mate, let me know what you think. I'd really be interested to know what you think, because I am so close to buying that. It's just crazy. I've not played a game like that in a long time, though, and I think that's the only thing that puts me off. I have so little time these days to do anything on the computer because of my work, my day job, that I don't, you know, the days are gone where I can literally plug in for hours and run different missions and things, and I tend to be flying most of the time. So just to bring you up to speed, the crew are now, yeah, you can just see the top of his helmet, no sniggering at the back. They're just working on the patient down there as we speak. And everyone is standing around gawping at the gory details of what's happened to this guy, having got caught in a combine harvester. Look at this! Look at this! Right, quick name check while we're here. Heliflyer, Wombleway. Ah, Dr. Bishop. Dr. Bishop. Ado. The reason why I'm saying Dr. Bishop is I had massive problems with multiplayer in this sim. With FPS, whenever people got close to me, and you may remember, watching some of them, FPS would drop when aircraft got to a certain distance, and it was a real pain in the neck. And in one stream, Dr. Bishop, I think it possibly the first one he'd watched, maybe, but he said, "Oh, have you tried turning off wake turbulence?" And I remember thinking, wake turbulence? How could that possibly affect the FPS like this? And I turned it off, and wow, he was absolutely right. FPS problems completely gone. So once again, Dr. Bishop, thank you. Lars, you're into your windows in that field. You are absolutely right. That's very observant of you. But we in the Royal Air Force, when we have a farmer who has been injured by his combine harvester, we don't mess about. We don't get scared by a bit of wheat or corn or barley or whatever this might be. We go straight in, full tactical, and rescue the patient, because that's how we roll. Right, I need to update you on what's happening rather than waffling. So there's our paramedic now taking the stretcher out to the patient. If I quickly hop onto here, I can now show you what I wanted to show you before. So doctor is telling me estimated ground time 1 minute, and the doctor is saying the patient will be transported by us. Sometimes he goes by ambulance, but we know he's going to go care of Dreams of Wings Airways. Welcome on board. God, that was awful. Excuse me. Accept destination. We're going to Raigmore. Yes, we're going to Inverness. I like going to Raigmore. They're loading him on. I really want to quickly show you this before we head off. Come on. Get the click spot. 52. Dale Jennings, 52 years, male. Tractor accident with injured farmer. Status upon medical arrival responsive, which is good. So he's conscious. He's got code 3, which is no risk to life, and he's got a 69 life score, heart rate of 58 beats per minute, and an oxygen saturation level of 97.4. He's alright. He is not going, we don't need to worry about him too much. He'll be eating a Kit Kat in the back, and he'll be more than happy and looking forward to his
Cabin secured. Ready
trip.
to fly.
Okay, chaps in the back, good to go. There's our patient on board. Let's have engines to flight. Let's have VMS up while we're doing that, just to check. That's all good. Okay. Okay, happy with that, happy with that, happy with that, happy with that, happy with that. Quick look at the overhead just to make sure we've not forgotten anything. They're all good to go. That's fine. Okay. Ready to lift. So wind is right on the nose, so we'll take off, do a quick hover check over the combine harvester, and then on y va. And hospital is 37.6 nautical miles. There you go. So we will lift.
VTOS.
Quick hover check. Oh, check the wind. The wind's doing the funny thing again. Oh, it's normally in this helicopter it's quite stable. You know, you can put the collective lever to a a point, and it's not necessarily going to do a great deal different. But with this wind, the behaviour is well, it's literally like you imagine a strong wind blowing over an aerofoil, and 1 minute we're lifting, 1 minute we're sinking. So it's I'm not going to head towards that hill simply because I don't trust what's happening at the moment. So I'm just going to point us towards lower ground, and while we are in the climb, see us sinking there. Just want to get us over this high ground. Wind is 39, 40 knots. Welcome to the tail end of Storm Amy. I actually don't know at this point what the maximum wind is for H145 operations. Keeping that climb in. So it's a balance between keeping a good lick of speed on because we've got a patient we need to get to hospital, and also keeping a climb on and not over talking at the same time. So I'm watching those two red markers there on the left hand side. They're dancing up and down. Off and couple the autopilot to the nav. So helicopter has the helm. Everything's looking okay. We've got nothing to worry about with our terrain warning system. No reds, just some yellows. We've got a reasonable speed. I am just going to come back a little bit on that. Just to be careful. But you can see with what have we got? With a 36 headwind at the moment, 38 knots headwind at the moment, our ground speed is only 73 knots, so rather slow. Oh, how I miss those summer days and summer evenings doing this kind of stuff where wind is almost non-existent. There's the River Spey. Cairngorm Mountains over there. Good to see the Navy. Good to have you along, chaps. With all this this wind and rain, you lot are right at home, so it's quite reassuring having you along. Okay, that's all good. Aces, what about World War I aircraft? That's another interesting question. For me personally, it's never really been a type that I've been that interested in. I want to say I did have a World War I aircraft sim, I think on the Amiga. Can't remember the name of it, but I didn't really use it much. I have had a bit of fun on IL-2 in VR, flying multiplayer dogfighting in the World War I fighters, but yeah, they're not aircraft that particularly interest me. I'm kind of my niche is kind of World War II warbirds and kind of steam gauge single engine GA. That's the kind of bracket I fall into. Not massively into kind of pre-1940s aircraft. I'm certainly not into kind of glass cockpit airliners or glass cockpit GA. Strangely though, and I've said it before on streams because I always feel I have to explain it, I love the H145. I love this helionics avionics system. It works really well for the mission role that it's flying, the information that's available, the things that we can do with it. You know, we've got the synthetic terrain there for when we're flying at night or flying in murk, so that's always handy. But yeah, World War I I've never really got into. Michael, according to Google, your flight would be cancelled if the wind is more than 30 to 40 knots. It's currently 44 knots.
500.
So this ain't clever. But the helicopter's coping with it, but it's not great when you're trying to do a nice landing or doing a nice approach. Oh, that is beautiful. What a nice sight. Let's have a quick look outside actually. I'll put the labels back on so we can see who's who. That's Ado, Heli Flyer, Bishop, and one Bullway over there. Just look at that scenery. It is nice what Rex Atmos does. Sorry, I was just...
Watch out! Reduce collective!
Okay,
Now.
that's... Oh, no. Okay, now we've got a problem.
Are we doing acrobatic
500.
maneuvers with a patient on board? Are you serious?
So what happened there...
Are we doing acrobatic maneuvers with a patient on
Oh.
board? Are you serious? Hey, we crashed! Everyone okay?
That's what happens. That's why you got to be careful. So what happened there, and I could tell it from the outside. Just listening to it. It's coming back to life. Whew. And everything settled down. So what happened there was, as I was looking outside and looking at everything, the wind must have overtalked the engine, and the engine overtalked, and then boom, that was it. We went down. I thought you'd like that, Sparky. But yeah, that's why you've got to be so careful in wind, and why it's not a good idea to go outside of the helicopter gawping around when you are on the knife edge, as it were. Okay, let's have a quick look at the VMS page, see where we are. Just lifting the collective slightly just to try and bring that back into... Okay. Let's just check everything. So we seem to be in a bit of shelter here with the 23 knot wind. We do need HEMS for the HEMS. But at least it landed without doing any obvious damage. But this wind is... right, so no more me jumping outside and gawping. It always leads to catastrophe. It always leads to catastrophe, because what happens is, as soon as you go into drone view... Was I in drone view? I can't remember. Certainly drone view, you lose control of the helicopter. But it was on autopilot anyway. Yeah, so just to recap, what happened there was we were on autopilot. I was out of the cockpit gawping. A gust of wind must have put the helicopter into an overtalk situation. Because I was out of the cockpit, I didn't realise until the damage was done and I could hear the RPM starting to change. And at that point was when it all went awry. But there you go. Let that be a lesson to you. Don't jump outside gawping when it's a windy day. Romeo Kilo. Yeah. How you doing? That was a little bit like Alton Towers, wasn't it? Ah, Dread Metis. Bonjour, comment ça va, monsieur? It's funny. It always makes me giggle how people love it. When something goes wrong, suddenly the chat comes alive. It's like, yes, something went wrong! Quick, quick! Ado, you'll remember. What was it? There was a stream where I think I went into drone view, and I don't think I was on autopilot, and the helicopter just went haywire and just dropped out of the sky. You would have thought I would have learnt from that when we're flying in certain conditions, do not go outside of the cockpit view and start faffing about doing other things. Yeah, I know you do, Sparky. Yes, Alex, Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia, and heading to Raigmore Hospital at the moment with our patient, who's still in one piece. See that cool dude in the back? He's still got his shades on. He's still quite happy. He's looking at the machine that goes ping. He's not phased by what happened before. Just looking at the tours there. We do need to climb a little bit, I think. So just inputting some climb into the heli whopper. Are you phased? No, he's alright. This is the Royal Air Force. We practice for this kind of emergency. We practice for some idiot jumping outside of the cockpit to look at everyone else who's flying along on a windy day. Michael, can you imagine you can put damage mode on? Damage mode is on for the helicopter. Crash mode is off because of obstacles that sometimes, you know, you get those mystery obstacles and it suddenly says you've crashed. And the advice I've always been given is just to turn that off because it causes more problems than not. But helicopter damage is on, so if we had, luckily, it didn't overtalk enough so that it's actually broken the helicopter, which helps. Aidan, I'm amazed you didn't clip that. Normally you're what? I nearly said something, nearly used some foul language there. You're normally quite quick to clip the foul ups. Yeah, I should say the H145 does have damage simulation in it. Things can go wrong. If you overtalk the engine for long enough, you will break it. And there's other things that can go wrong. I don't know who was here on the particular stream, but we had a random engine fire a few streams ago, so sometimes things do go wrong. Yeah, HeliFlyer, I've seen that before. It can, when you're flying multiplayer, suddenly it can switch and you're seeing people in different helicopters, different liveries. It does all sorts of weird things. I very nearly went into outside view, but I'm not going to do that now. I am not stupid. So we're just flying over Dallas. Dallas in the Highlands. I should show you really, shouldn't I? Let's have a look while we're doing this. Let's go to little Nav map. Here we go. So we took off from Lossie, we flew over here to our harvester, and we're just flying overhead Dallas. Then Lachterick. Oh, I wish I'd noticed that. I used to fish there as a lad. Used to go trout fishing up there. Often wondered if Dallas, Texas is named after this Dallas. You never know. Probably not. Just remember to put the stream back on. Actually remembered. There's a castle over there somewhere. You see it in the murk though. Viz is definitely he's definitely coming down. Just checking the tours again. Got some lumpy bumpies coming up. I am just going to input a slight climb. So this is what I'm looking at here. This kind of power band here is showing how much collective we're pulling, and you can see how it's moving up and down. And this is what it's moving up and down because as the wind is affecting the rotor disc, it's having to change the amount of collective on the blades, and you can see in the way it's moving up and down, this is what causes the overtorque, because suddenly if it goes red, we is in trouble. So I'm just being gentle with that climb. I'm just blipping the hat switch just to keep a nice climb in over here, but keeping an eye on that. There we go. There we go. Need to be careful, careful, careful. Need to watch that like a hawk. Just realised when I showed you the map I lost the chat, so let me get that back up so I can. There we go. Interesting. Dread, you like the MH60? I've not flown it since the updates. I bought it and I flew it a couple of times, but I must admit after flying the H145 so much I didn't really enjoy it as much, and certainly the mission thing
500
isn't as good as this. Isn't as good as the random and anywhere and all that kind of stuff, but I do like the look of it, and I keep thinking I need to give it a try. Right, you see that? You see that on the left? Creeping down. So I'm just going to reduce speed a little bit. As we come up over these ridges, we're obviously getting a change. So I need to be very careful of that. We do not want another overtorque situation. Oh, that's nice. I have to say though, the MH60 does look damn good. I love that Royal Navy livery. I was going to make a video. I was going to do a search and rescue video at sea in it, but I just found the mission so, I'm going to say it, so dull compared to what this can do, that I didn't do it in the end. But I need to have another look at it. I know they've updated it quite a lot since the last time I used it. Look at that, ground speed 58 knots, 32 knots headwind at the moment. Try and pick up a bit more speed. It's an interesting exercise flying in a wind like this. It's not something I'd want to do all the time, but I do love that. But it's an interesting exercise, a bit like last time doing the night mission. I wouldn't want to do it all the time, but it's good fun trying it, flying it, seeing how the helicopter behaves in different different situations. The M500, yeah, I got to say I love, at the risk of boring anyone who watches the streams on a regular basis, I love the Taugshanger 500C. It's beautiful. I am going to be doing another stream in that soon. Probably kind of on the lines of a helicopter group flight, but I love that 500C. So much character, pure helicopter physics, no kind of fancy stability systems or avionics. Seat to your pants. It's the Spitfire of the helicopter world for me in my sim, before someone says, oh actually I think you'll find that the blah 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 is the Spitfire of the helicopter world. But yeah. I really want to do an outside view, but there's no way I'm going to do that now after what happened just before. That's some nice flying there, Ada. Nice formation flying. Interesting, the door is showing is open. Does look good, doesn't it? Nice that the rotors are running as well. Some helicopters, like the high performance group helicopters, in multiplayer the rotors don't turn, so which is a bit of a shame, to say the least. Yeah, Heliflyer, you're not far off really. I think anything that Taugshanger does is just excellent. For me, Taugshanger is almost like the A2A of the helicopter world for me, in that anything he produces you just know is going to be good. Yeah, the 500C, I love the Huey as well. The Llama used to be, before the 500C, the Llama was my go-to fun kind of sightseeing helicopter. I just wish he'd do a Gazelle and a Sea King, and then everything would be peachy. That would be really quite cool. Cheers, Michael. Take care. Good to have you along. Thanks for watching, mate. Dread Metis, I don't like that there are no physical buttons for the cable bucket stuff. Is that in the yeah, the MH60? So the thing that I found when in this helicopter, you can fly over the casualty, you can lower the winch, you can watch the guy go down the winch, you're still flying the helicopter, the guy gets off the winch, he walks to the casualty, he does what he needs to do, and then he comes back again. The thing with the MH60, at the time I did it, and it may have changed, I don't know. At the time I did it, it was almost like fly to point A, and then you flicked a switch, and then that was it. It kind of,
500.
and then you got a message saying that I think that the rescue was complete or something like that. It felt very, very kind of. Whereas this, you feel more part of it, you know, which is kind of cool. Yeah, Lynx is a nice helicopter. You're right. You are right. I know that there is one in development at the moment, which Guy, who isn't with us this morning, but he works for Historic Helicopters, who look after that helicopter now. He flies the Lynx that's in development sometimes, but it's not on public release at the moment. Tom, what are you playing on? This is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 with the high performance group, Airbus H145, with the action pack expansion that enables us to do missions, and I'm using the so I was just listening to the engine there. You see that we're dropping dropping there. Be careful. What was I saying? Yeah, random and anywhere mod that enables us to do random and anywhere missions. That's it in a nutshell. Falconer, how you doing, mate? Hope all is good with you. Yes, yeah, you're right. The Sea King. I'd love to see. I would love to do the full-on RAF Sea King search and rescue thing. That would be great. While I remember, obviously after the stream, if you want to see something quite interesting, look for ITV Rescue on YouTube. They have got most of the episodes of a programme that aired in the late 80s, which was about the 202 Squadron search and rescue team at Lossiemouth, flying the Sea King, and you get to see the kind of stuff that they had to deal with in real life. It amazes me, the technology they had at the time, the things that they could do. Poor weather out over the North Sea, the Piper Alpha disaster, flying in snow, all that kind of stuff. Just absolutely amazing what they could do. So, wind at the moment, 43 knots on the nose. Ground speed is 60 knots, wow. So it really is having quite an effect. Royal Navy doing well in the MH60, well done chaps, well done. I'm sorry guys, I can't, oh no, there we go, so we've got the H160, that's what I'm talking about. So Hype haven't yet done any kind of update since Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, so their blades do not turneth in multiplayer, but the H160 is rather nice, and I am looking forward to the action pack being available for that. Doing this kind of work in the H160 will be good fun. Bigger helicopter, a little bit faster. Still got the helionic system, so a lot of it is nice and familiar. But yeah, it's a bigger helicopter, isn't it? He's not impressed. Paul's Pursuits. I'm a PS5 user here, and I can't wait to play this on December the 8th. Will this HEMS be available on console? Ah, yeah. That's a good point, Paul. That's a good point. So it's coming to PS5, isn't it? Unfortunately, and it's the same for Tom, and Falconer has actually already said it, the Hype H145 is on PC only. The reason for that is because, or one of the reasons is because it's kind of heavily PC driven in terms of, for example, there's a separate piece of software called the Hype Operations Center where you can build your missions. You can also upload mission data to the helicopter and all that kind of stuff. So it's not something in this state that they can put onto console. They have developed the H225 Super Puma, which is on console, but it doesn't link to. It hasn't got the same functionality, and it's in need of an update desperately. So sadly not, I'm afraid. Sadly not. You've got to have PC to be able to do all this kind of stuff, and like the random and anywhere as well. But good point. Good point. So we can see just over there. Well, you can't see because of the murk, but I was going to say it's the Murray Firth over there. Down there, I don't know if we'll see it, is Cawdor, and of course you've got the famous Cawdor Castle, which is talked about in Shakespeare's Macbeth, but of course isn't anything to do with it really. But you can go and have a look at it, but I don't think we can see it in this murk. I actually don't know if it's modelled in sim. I've not actually tried to see it, but it's over there anyway. Yeah, I think I've heard that before, Romeo Kilo. I personally, I kind of don't find it clunky, but I kind of know what you mean. It's I would say it's functional. It's not polished, but it's functional. It kind of does what it's kind of like quite a basic tool. But I understand what you mean. It's not got a fancy schmancy GUI and all that sort of thing. But for me, it just kind of works. It does what I need it to do. It's been a long time since I've built missions in it, purely because I tend to do this. I don't want to know what's coming my way. I don't want to know what casualty I'm going to have to deal with and all that kind of stuff. So I've not built my own missions, but yeah, it kind of does what you need it to do. Let's have a quick look at the map so you can see where we are and what we're doing. So we're now over here. That was Cawdor that I was talking about. We are going to Raigmore Hospital, which is here. We've got Inverness Airport, which I doubt we're going to really see anything of with this Merc, but that is over that way. Yeah, coming over here into Raigmore. This will be interesting. It's a relatively tight spot. We've got lots of buildings around here and masts and that sort of thing. And the way this wind is being a pain in the neck, that could be an interesting one. So we'll see anyway. We will see. We will see. Hopefully nothing will go too wrong. But then, you know, we've got to give Sparky something to comment on if it all goes awry. Sparky, don't mention the Scottish play. Oh man. That, do you know what? I love that Blackadder episode. That's so cool. Very funny. Hans, how are you doing, mate? How are you? How's Austria today? We're just in the tail end of a storm here, so got 34 knot winds and a lot of murk, but I hope all is good with you. The Slate One, have you tried the Road Sim EC135 in X? No, Slate One, another good point, another good question. I think we were talking about this on the last helicopter stream. I don't use X-Plane, but people keep telling me, oh, the X-Plane helicopters are really realistic and really good and you've got to give it a try. No, I haven't touched X-Plane really. Flown fixed wing in it a couple of times some time ago, but I've invested so much in MSFS and previously P3D, I never felt the need to go X-Plane route as well. Yeah. Yeah. Remo Kilo. I thought of Blackadder as soon as the Scottish play was mentioned. Very true. It is good. I love that scene where he's just kind of taunting them and he's trying to get them to say it, and he says, "Whoa, you mean Macbeth?" And then they have to do their thing again. Brilliant. Hans, I bet it is. I bet it is. You've got the mountains right next to you. It's funny, I noticed, was it last week or the week before? I think it was last week. They were posting Cairngorm Mountain. They were posting that they'd had the first dusting of snow. Oh, that's nice. And I thought, wow, it was only a few weeks ago that I was there in a tent. So it's amazing how quickly that can happen. Slip One, and you don't need to invest in a lot, but if you like helis, it's where it is. The AW109 is also awesome. Yeah, maybe one day, mate. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Are you a real pilot? I'm not a real pilot. Thank God. As you can probably tell, no. I have got some real world flying training years ago in a previous life. As part of what we did, we had to know the basics of flying an aircraft, so we were trained. We were basically trained up to about 15 hours. So I managed to get first solo, but then real life got in the way, and I never took it any further. So no, I'm just purely these days. I fly in the sim. I've flown a Spitfire, a two-seater Spitfire, flown it from the back briefly. They weren't daft enough, they didn't let me land it or take off in it, but just that, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of flying a Spitfire was enough. I don't need a PPL for having been able to do that. It was wonderful, but no, not a real pilot. And I actually only ever been in a helicopter once when I was, blimey, probably about 13, I want to say 13, 14, flew in a British Airways Sea King. But yeah, I've sat in an RAF Sea King, but not flown in it. Thank you, Slave. I think you're joking. Guy, here he is. I was just talking about you, Guy, before. Your ears must have been burning. So Guy works for Historic Helicopters, which is this lot. He actually told me about this repaint. I'd made some comment in the Discord. We have a Discord. Yeah, I see Streamlabs keeps popping the link in, so if you want to come along and say hello, have a look. And yeah, he is a helicopter engineer, so he knows his stuff. Good to see you, Guy. Hope all is good with you. A320 simulations, how are you doing, chap? A320, who's just arrived, actually did this for real. So always a bit nervous when he comes on, because he knows exactly how this is meant to be done. There's a 500, look at that, beautiful. Lovely helicopter. God, it makes me want to fly it every time I see it. So yeah, A320 simulations, who's now an airline pilot, did this for real.
2 nautical miles from the hospital.
So 2 miles out from the hospital, the winds are ridiculous right now, 45 knots. 45 knots, and we're going to come into Raigmore. So I'm going to take it off I'm going to take it off autopilot rather, and we're going to do this manually. And I hate these winds right now. So autopilot off. Oof. Really should have started out a nice descent before we started messing about. We're a little bit too high, so I'm just going to bring us around this way. Try and lose some height. A320, you won't have seen it before, but the and I'd love to know your input actually. The concentrating there. It's really interesting with this strong wind. Blimey, 48 knots there. The behaviour of the helicopter is quite incredible, and you can see we've gone into a vortex ring state there. So I guess because I had a tailwind, all of a sudden we lost. Well, basically we lost all lift, and we got stuck in that vortex ring state. So this is what I'm talking about. Right now, I'm just trying to stabilise us. Yeah, A320. So I guess what I'm saying is, you kind of saw it then, is very much feeling the effect of the wind, almost like it's over an aerofoil, gusting over the rotor disc, and the you know, gone are the days where you can do like a nice gentle approach, because the helicopter is all over the show. Now, this is interesting. What's interesting about it, Rob? I'm talking out loud. It's funny how yeah, I you know, it's one of those things I can't put into words. Just the effect of the helicopter, the behaviour of the helicopter. You can see what the indicated airspeed is, and you can see what the ground speed is. Tom, what country are you flying in? Scotland, northwest Scotland. So really having to be ever so gentle. 53 knot headwind. Right now, 54 knot headwind. Jeez. I'll be glad to get this on the ground, if I'm honest. And time now, okay, yeah, time is lunchtime here in the UK. So what I'm going to do is we will land on...
Rear crew, we are approaching the landing site.
At Raigmore. Then we are going to shut the helicopter down, and then we're going to go to the cafe for a cup of tea and a bacon sandwich, and show off to the nurses in our flying suits. So you can see the helipad up ahead. It's a really nice helipad actually. Epic Fool did a job of improving the helipads for hospitals up in Scotland, and it just adds the finishing touches to it. So this is what I'm talking about now. You probably, I guess it's a hard thing to tell from watching, but I'm having to make all sorts of adjustments with the collective, because 1 minute the helicopter is lifting, so I'm having to lower the collective. The next minute it is dropping, so I'm having to raise it, and it's just all over the place. So I'm going to kill the tablet. Okay, we've got an H145 on, sorry, a 500 on approach. I'm going to pretend he isn't there. Good God. Oh. It is. Focus, focus, focus. Hard to focus with a 500 sitting right in front of me, but okay, let's keep it going, keep it going. Having to make so many adjustments with the collective just to fight this wind. There we go, you see it suddenly popped up then. Okay, let's keep, and again, bucking around, climbing, and okay. Wow.
Rear crew, prepare for ground operations.
Wow, wow, wow. I kind of wish I had the tail camera on now. It does have a tail camera, so you can get a better idea of what's happening, but jeez, it's like being on a bucking bronco, this. There we go. I don't care that that's not centered on the thing.
We crashed! Everyone okay?
We didn't crash. How rude. That was a landing. Whichever one of that one was, you're fired. Wow, that was interesting. That was interesting. If interesting is the right word. Just going to lock off the head tracking. There we go. Let's get the labels up. Have a final roll call. Mazinski, there you go, in the 500. Alemo, oh, we've got quite a few new ones. Sorry guys, I couldn't jump outside because the last time I jumped outside we had an overtalk situation. Right, catch up with the chat. Oh, I should really show you what's happening. So, Ado's doing his PT. Good lad. And then we've got my crew who are going to hand over the patient to the hospital crew. Catch up with the chat. A320, honestly, I would not be flying in 48 knots, as you discovering your tail rotor is not going to have enough authority to deal with crosswind. Honestly, probably exceeding an aircraft limitation. Absolutely. That was not fun to fly, I have to say. Dreadmet, it's about the XPM SFS, whatever war, never been convinced that flight sim was about polarities. I've been using both platforms since the beginning of my flight simming, and well, there is a no. Oh, there is one sim to run. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Dread. I agree with you. For me, it's more, I should say, it's not because I don't like X-Plane. It's more that I just can't be bothered these days to buy another sim and buy add-ons for it, and I get so little time to fly that you know, sometimes I might only get one flight a week, so I'm kind of sticking with one. If I ever get to a point where I've got more time, then potentially I might well look at that. It would be good. Okay, toxic crew, exactly. He's never been in a real crash. I think he's just nervous because of what happened before. I think he's a bit nervous about our overtalk situation when we were gulping outside. Oh, monsieur, je suis désolé. Guy, Definitely an army crewman, RAF wouldn't dare speak out against superior, and a navy crew wouldn't have realised we'd landed. That's true. Once you've done a deck landing or two, who gives a monkeys about how rough it was, eh? Yeah. Right. Good God. Well, after that, I think I need a stiffer drink than a cup of tea. Anyway, here's the chaps. Come on, do your PTA though. Come on, don't just stand there, lad. Hello, everybody. That's the funny thing about MSFS, isn't it? Everyone can kind of jump out. Thanks to everyone who joined the flight. I hope you had a good time. There wasn't much to see in the way of scenery, unfortunately, because of the weather, but it was an interesting flight. And thanks to... oh, hang on. Tom, can we have a look at your sim setup, or have you already made a build on it? Tom, I haven't. I'm not really a hardware guy, if I'm honest. I mean, what? I've got a... the GPU is a RTX 5900. I'm using an i9 14 something processor, 64 megabytes or gigabyte memory. I've got the Warbird Virpil Warbird base with a 15 centimeter extension, no sniggering at the back, with a Warbird stick grip. Sorry, Warthog grip stick. I've got the Thrustmaster TPR pedals. I've got the excellent Virpil TCS Plus collective with a Hawk 60 grip. This collective lever is one of the best pieces of hardware I ever bought, I've got to say. It took me a long time to pluck up the courage to buy it, but I had to buy it because it just adds really nice control. Well, we've got a Dano. Thank you for subscribing. My head tracking. The sun has suddenly come out. And there's a bit of... let me lock that off, because otherwise that's going to drive everyone mad. The sun's just come out, so the head tracking is picking up something through the window. Yeah, the Virpil collective is just... it's expensive. It took me a long time to pluck up courage to buy it, but I'm glad I did, because it's just adds to the immersion, adds to the control. You've got the extra buttons and switches. It's absolutely brilliant. There is a video on the channel about the collective, so if you want to have a look at that, just have a look through the videos on the channel. There's two. There's one about the collective itself, which is a flight video, and then people said, well, how did you connect it to your chair? So I made another video, just a quick short about that as well. But I'm not really a hardware tech guy. All I want to do is fly. I'm not a computer guy. I'm not interested in tinkering with things or building my own computer. I just want to fly, and I have to use this box on the floor to be able to do it. That's what it's all about. Cool. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling, but thank you ever so much for joining. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. Take care now. Bye bye.